Thanks everyone for your time, attention, and being here. I'm excited to share something with you that is near and dear to my heart. First, I want to start with a story that I'm hoping some of you can relate to. I honestly wish that you couldn't, but I think that a lot of you might. Someone comes to you and they want your help. Their health is not really in the place they want it to be. They're a little bit nervous, but they're also hopeful. And they have trusted you with that hope that they've cultivated. They want to transform. They want to make a change with their health, with their life. You sit down with them, you start to dig into what's going on, and this is right in your wheelhouse. This is something you know how to handle. You're excited. They're excited. You are going to help change this person's life, and you know just the thing to do it. You come up with a plan, and you agree to meet next week. And the next week, patient comes in, you're excited, you can't wait to hear. What happened? Either they didn't show up or they didn't do it. You agreed on it, you're both excited. What the heck happened? You know what, maybe it's a one-off. All right, you sit down again, you get back into it. The excitement's like 90% there. You come up with a new plan of attack. The same week, the same thing happens next week. And then the third week, they don't show up. And then it becomes a battle to try to get them back to that excited place of hope. And it's starting to feel like this patient journey is slipping away from you. That has been my experience. And something that is really, really close to me is the topic of patient compliance, accountability, and discipline. Over this weekend, I've talked a little bit about superpowers. I've asked you to reflect on your own superpowers and where they came from. Let me tell you a little bit about my superpower. My superpower is discipline. I can always find a way to get things done, even when it isn't convenient, when it hurts. And at first, that was not a superpower. That led me down a dark journey of obsessive calorie counting, body image issues, and a lot of unhappiness and eventually depression. But it turned into a superpower because when I started becoming disciplined for the right things, the things that mattered to me, when I started connecting that discipline to my own vision and my own purpose as opposed to something outside of myself or something I thought I needed to do or should do, it's like the stars aligned. All of a sudden, by comparison, it was effortless. And I went from being obsessed about the results, the numbers, the weight, the image in the mirror, to the process, to loving the process. And that has been an amazing gift for me. That has turned into what is truly my superpower, not just discipline, but the ability to love the things that I know are good for me. And over the last year, this transformation went to the next level for me because I started being able to share it with other people when I left my corporate sales job and I started becoming a health coach. And that's where this scenario started to show up, where I want to help this client, but for some reason there's something lost in translation. They're not doing what I said they're going to do. I feel like it's the best program ever, but they're not doing it. So what I want to talk to you today about is a little bit about motivation, what it is, what actually happens on the psychological level. A lot of the research I've been really excited about, research being me frantically studying this stuff, paying for coaches, learning online, as well as some university education. The next slide there. So something I want to talk about is these 3 phases of mastery that I've noticed in my clients, in patients, and in myself. And so really the 3 phases of mastery are consistency, results, and confidence. When patients come to me, And I'm thinking the busy professional, the stressful Sarah, I think it is. That's the person I work with the most. And when they come to me and they want to improve their health, they are coming to me as someone who is at the top of their game. When they're at work, they have people that report to them, people ask them for advice, they're the ones calling the shots. They need to seem strong. They need to seem like they have all the answers. So just to come to me and ask for help with their health is already a stretch. But what do you think is going to happen for that person when they know that if they put time into their business, it will do well? People will listen to them. They will make money. They will get promoted. They're working on their health now, something that they may have trauma in from the past, a diet that's failed, workouts that went poorly, being made fun of at the gym. Maybe as a kid they weren't athletic. And they're now going on this journey and they're going to the gym for the first time. And maybe that's what they were excited about. And day one, they did what we agreed on. They went to the gym and someone looked at them and smiled and they took that to mean, wow, I shouldn't be here. This person knows that I don't belong in the gym. As a result, what are they going to turn to? When their confidence dips, when they're feeling like they can't make a difference, where are they going to go? They're going to go where they know they can have an impact, and that's back to work. We have the workaholic, and this is someone who is completely capable of being the compassionate, work-life balance parent who can do it all. They have that within them. But right now, there's this block, and this block is really about self-efficacy. They've got it with their business, they don't have it with their health. And so how can we create this in our patients? How can we have them feeling hopeful and excited about how they're going to make a change as opposed to can they make a change? How can we create that shift in them that they're excited by every challenge that comes up because it's a new opportunity for them to grow, for them to learn, for them to become a new version of themselves that's able to do more than they were yesterday. So there's this misconception that confidence is what leads to results, but that's not how it works. We don't become confident until we've already been successful. And so when people come into this, when we're creating plans and the patients are expecting that they're going to feel confident, that's their guide for what to do, they're set up for failure. And when they think that results are going to be what keeps them going, you're out of luck. You need to be consistent first before you're going to get those results. So how can we support them in getting from consistency to confidence? Because that's where they need to be. When they get to confidence, you don't need to tell them to work out. You don't need to remind them to eat better. They're now looking out for themselves and how they can do this. And so if you can create that in a patient, you've now got someone who is free, off in the world, transformed, and probably going to be transforming other people. They no longer require your time. The energy you've invested in them is exponentially increasing out into the world. So one of the dilemmas that I face is this idea of internal versus external results. The external results, the body fat, the weight, the circumference, right? These are things that other people are going to notice, things they're going to be able to see and write down on paper. But what's so important that needs to go with that is that internal result, the confidence, the self-efficacy. The confidence is not something that you have or you don't. It's something that builds and builds and builds. And so really what we see is that from the point of consistency to the end, the confidence is really increasing. But the whole way it's going to be scary. And so how can we foster those internal results, the ones that are tough to measure, but create those long-term gains while still giving them external results, something that they can track and measure that's going to keep them going. So what I want to talk about next is the 3 requirements for motivation. What really goes into that so we can get a better understanding. And essentially, we've got 3 things that people need to feel confident about something. One of them is a clear goal. The second is they need a clear path or process they believe will get them there. And then the third is what we've talked a lot about already, self-efficacy. They need to believe that they can execute on that path. And I've talked a lot about the efficacy, but these other areas, this is something that comes up a lot too. We have patients who come to us, and I've already heard people sharing about their experience with this, where they come to you with a goal. That's not really their goal. That's someone else's goal. That's something they've seen on TV. That's something they think they need to be. That's not who they want to be. And if they don't start out with a goal, if they start out with someone else's goal, the happiness, the success, the feeling of fulfillment is never going to be there, and you get what I call this never enough syndrome. There's always got to be something else. And not because they want to keep growing, but because they feel they're missing something. And so a statistic I pulled here is that, so one challenge here is that patients who become non-compliant, oftentimes it's because they don't have symptoms anymore. And so if they come in here, they come to us because they want to treat a symptom, and we don't go that extra mile. We don't find a way to connect that symptom to something deeper that's important to them. Then as soon as the symptom's gone, so is their compliance. They're not going to do it anymore. And studies show that with diseases like hypertension, where the symptoms go away relatively quickly, patients are way less compliant. It drops off so sharply. And the other thing is that studies show that 40 to 60% of patients could not correctly report what their physicians expect them to do an hour to an hour and a half after their consultation. And go back to that patient who's stepping their foot in the gym for the first time, or they're just starting this new meal plan and it's uncomfortable, and they just get this hint of doubt that, maybe I'm not doing it right. Maybe what I'm doing actually isn't going to get me the result that I want. They haven't tied this to something deeper. They're not excited to progress. They're excited for a result. And now there's doubt that what they're going to do, which they're scared to do, is actually going to get them there. Immediately, it is going to become so difficult for them to motivate themselves to do it. And as someone who has a superpower of discipline, even if they do it, and they do it to get that result, it's a dark road. In my experience, it is a dark place to go, because you get more and more detached from what you really want. You get more caught up with a number on a page, and that is not, in my experience, not what happiness is about. So the question then becomes, really, how do we instill these things in our patient? We have so little time. Everyone is unique. They have their own set of experiences that we can only begin to understand through questioning and long interviews. So how can we then solve these three problems? How can we turn that on its head and use these three things to get our patients to take in the information we have worked so hard to learn for ourselves and for them? So I'm going to share with you the simplest definition of motivation. It boils down to wanting. They need to want it. They need to want that change for themselves and not just a result. And Zig Ziglar said, people often say motivation doesn't last. Well, neither does bathing. That's why we recommend it daily. So when a lot of patients, when they come to me, usually there's something that happened in their life. They had a divorce, someone in their family had a medical issue, they had a scary appointment with the doctor, they saw a number on the scale they didn't like. A lot of times it's fear that brings them in. And when they come see us, their motivation is high. They're in the meeting with us, we're excited, we keep that motivation high. But then they go off on their own, and they don't have tools to sustain that. And so what if we had a way for them to be motivated every single day, for them to be reminded and connected to what it is that they really want? That stressful Sarah who says that she wants to eat better, right? What if for her all of a sudden eating healthier meant that she's setting a positive example for her kids so that they can live a positive life, a long, happy, healthy life? Now that might be something she's actually concerned about. What if her nutrition and her exercise keeps her mentally sharp so that she can be an executive that makes game time decisions without fail? Now you might have a conversation with Sarah. Now she might be interested in doing this stuff not just for a number on a scale, but because that's the kind of person she wants to be. If she wants to inspire the people in her corporation, she wants them to live by healthy values, well, the only way she's going to do that is by demonstrating those values herself. And so connecting her to that which is just beneath the surface, her inner blind spot, by helping her connect with that daily, I think we can start to see some real change. So basically, I'll touch up on these two additional challenges. Momentum happens for patients. Like when you get them on a roll, you get them to take that first step, and they do it. And then they feel that little burst of excitement when they can acknowledge that they've actually made progress. Then they want more of it. Our brains, the way they're wired, they crave more of what they already have. They're survival machines. And so if you're still here, your brain is saying, well, okay, what I'm doing right now is working. I'm here. So on the positive side, that's fantastic. When we get patients making positive change and they have a repeatable way to do that, their motivation is going to increase. On the flip side, though, one bad decision can lead to spiraling out of control. I told you my superpower is discipline, but it's not because of some innate personality trait. It's not because when I have a box of donuts in front of me, I have just amazing iron willpower. It's because I've developed strategies. It's because when I was younger, I tied discipline to self-worth. And so it really motivated me to figure out how to be freaking disciplined. But it's not because I have willpower that none of you have. It's nothing like that. It's strategy. And I'm going to paint a picture for you of two different mornings, right? One morning, before bed, tomorrow I have a big day. I want to get up. I want to do this at work. I want to do this. I want to get a workout in. And so I need to get up at 5 a.m. to make this all happen and to still have time for my girlfriend after. Okay, and then I go to bed and I wake up. My alarm goes off, and first thought that comes into my head is, oh my God, it's morning already? Oh, I'm feeling pretty tired. Wow, and my legs are so sore from the gym yesterday. You know what? I think I should probably just get a bit more sleep. Sleep's really important after all. And I don't want to take that away from my body. I'm a health coach. Health is important to me. Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go back to sleep for a little bit. Turn the alarm off. Wake up at 7. Crap, didn't do this thing I was supposed to do. And then I get up, and first thing I was supposed to do that day, it didn't happen. Okay, well, maybe this next thing. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, and well, I'll have breakfast first. Then I have some breakfast, thinking about should I have maybe a little extra breakfast, and I take that second portion. And after that second portion, now I'm feeling full, feeling tired. I'm not going to go into my office and do that work I said I was going to do. Because I didn't go into my office to do the work I said I was going to do, I didn't see the note that I left to call my friend and wish him a happy birthday. Because I didn't do that, I never reconnected with my friend at all, and I forgot that I actually had an appointment that I was supposed to go to later with them. Very, very quickly, my day spirals out of control, and I did none of the things that I really wanted to do. It's like I need a reset. Other version of that day. Night before, I'm getting up at 5 a.m., written in my journal. That is important to me because if I don't do that, I'm not going to have time for my girlfriend or for my work. One of them is going to give, and I don't want that. I wake up. My phone is on the other side of my room, so when my alarm goes off, I'm irritated, but I get up and I go get it. And I tell myself, you know what, it's okay, I'm going to turn off that freaking alarm, and then I'm going back to sleep. I'll show me. And I get across the room, and I turn off the alarm. I turn to go back to my bed, and that bastard, I don't feel like going back to bed. I'm already up. And so in that 1 minute, I've made that transition to what kind of day it's going to be. And then what's my next step? I'm going to do some Wim Hof breath work. I wrote it in my journal yesterday. That's my first order of business. I'm just going to do it. And as I walk over to my spot, same spot I do it every day, I'm thinking, do I really want to do this? Like, it's kind of work. It'd be nice to just kind of sit here, maybe relax a little bit. But while that thought is going, I am already sitting down. The app is starting, and Wim Hof that beautiful Dutch man, he's already speaking to me with that lovely, velvety accent. And I'm already started. And by the time I'm 10 breaths in, I'm thinking, why the heck was it so tough for me to do this? This feels great. I love this. 3 rounds later, and then I'm excitedly writing in my journal, creating the kind of day that I want, recreating the future that